Let me just give you an instance. In some parts of Nigeria, particularly in the south, because in the north, of course, we have Islam. They are equally as confused as those in the south, only that I'm talking of the south, no? Where people are worshiping Jesus. So they claim to be born again. In many of the cases, these are not European, these are African people, these are Nigerian. They go to the shrine of the local shrine, they will burn it down. They will say that it's a devil there. They were told that it's a devil there. They will burn down the ancestral shrine of the people. But this is where it becomes very interesting. When among these people, they say people that they are burning their shrine, they don't have any problem with you because you are a Christian. But you that is a Christian have problem with them because they are not Christian. That is already very problematic. Why are you destroying things? Why are you destroying the way of life of the people? I don't know if this is only happening in Nigeria or it's also happening in Congo, like you know. I mean, the Africans that are destroying their whole African religion and spirituality because they believe that they are born again in Christianity.
You know, this is something inherited from the West. Because before the arrival of the West people, we never have been taught of the Yoruba people going to convert the Fon people. We never heard about the Congo people going to convert the people of the Luba people, for example. No. Whenever two ethnic came together, they were an exchange of divinities because they knew that they were in the same religion. If you look at the voodoo of the Fon, you will find some divinities of the Yoruba inside. And the Black people don't see any contradiction in that. So there were no proselytism in Africa. The proselytism came with the white people. And with that, they were telling people that you have to convert the others. You have to find the other because they are not in your religion. They are in the darkness. You are in the light. So that mentality, we have to fight. We have to fight it. How are we going to fight it? By uniting in our own true religion, by showing people that the highest religion is not the white people's religion. We use his own standard. The standard of the white people is that religion, the true episteme, must be a science. Now we have demonstrated that ours is a scientific religion, an exact science. Theirs is the belief. This is one of the points we must capitalize on it to show them that no, our traditional religion is superior to Christianity and is superior to all the other religions. This is the first thing. The second thing, the white people cannot demonstrate the validity of his theism. He claims that his is true monotheism, and it is the belief that the supreme being is the creator. This is known by the Western scholar to be a logical impossibility. Why? Because you have to ask yourself just one question. Where does creation occur? If creation occurs in the Most High, that is, in the Most High Creator, then at the moment of creation, something in him goes from non-existence to existence. That God changes. And if God changes, there must be a principle of his mutability. And that principle must be higher than God, which is impossible. Now, maybe creation happens outside of God. But if creation happens outside of God, then added to God, it will result in an entity greater than God. So all the scholars in the West, the good scholars in the West knows this. They know that it is impossible to have a most high God who is at the same time the creator, which means that the very notion of the monotheism taught in the West is a wrong one. The true monotheism is the monotheism of the Black people. So we have to capitalize on this schema, the impossibility of their monotheism, the scientific nature of our religion, the scientific nature of our monotheism, to, to come to the unity of Africa, to get away from those schema, those the necessary to gain the other people to our religion. We belong to the same religion.
Thank you for that.
Say this. The physician the physician of Inyele I spoke about, his name is Libondo. Libondo.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the reference also. You see, I don't think it really requires rocket science to understand that the spirituality in Africa is the first and it must be the original. Because this is where humanity was born.
Mm-hmm.
This is where humanity have lived for several thousands of years before they ever got to Europe and other parts of the world. I think Europe, in fact, was even the last piece of land to be occupied because it was too cold. You simply cannot stay there. So for European now to come and say, it's like you have to say something there.
I want to stress this because in my introduction, I said that according to the Black people, the universe started in an eddy of water, which is situated in the east. Now, if you are in Japan, they will tell you you are at the extreme east. And if you come near, arrive at Iraq, they will tell you you are near east. So the east was Egypt in ancient time. The east was Africa. So the African people knew that the humanity started here in the east.
There is no debate about that at all. So yeah, where we say we are the spirituality we practice in Africa is original. It is not out of disrespect to other people. In fact, I don't even see Africa to be conquering other people. We just want to be able to live in our continent as owner of this land, as people in this land. We're not interested in conquering the European. We just want to be allowed to live according to our understanding of life, without being forced to live like other people, without destroying our culture, without forcing us to do things that is not in our alignment. This is where the problem really is. It's not because we decided now we want to go and conquer European. That is not what we are talking about here.
Of course, I agree with you. That is why I said we don't hear about a people proselytizing in the past. They never were proselytizing. When the Yoruba met with the Fon, they have an exchange of divinities. So that is our true mentality. And we can go back to this by going back to the scientific nature of our religion, our traditional religion.
All right. For the sake of the argument, is ancient Kemet spirituality a form of paganism? How did it become that if some people think that is the way it is?
You know, the term paganism was used by the Vatican in order to disparage Africa and in order to hide also a big truth. After the invasion of the northern part of Africa, which was then inhabited by the Black people, those Black people who were called then the Moors, were converted to island They went through Gibraltar and they reached Europe and they brought civilization to the Spanish people and to the Portuguese. That's how the light of civilization came to the white people. But as they were marrying with white lady, most of them became white, and eventually the white people got their independence from the Moors. And what they did, they tried to hide the truth that they were once dominated by the black people. Now, I tell you, see the flag of Sardinia and see the flag of the isle which is south of France and the isle which is south of Italy. Both flags contain a black face hanged, a black face being hanged. Why? Because they were first dominated by the black people who brought them civilization. So after they expelled the black people, and they began to call them pagan. So how we are not pagan, we are worshipper of the true God, the God who is transcendent, the only God whose existence can be demonstrated. We are not pagan. We have been labeled pagan by the Vatican. We are not so. And we don't have to admit this anymore because our religion is an exact science. Theirs is a mere belief.